Hello everyone and welcome to AJOB 36. This is the sounds of Phantoms. This is Phantom 6, I believe. A side project, I guess you'd say sort of industrial, that I did with a friend in Texas in 2008. But I just found the CD for it. I decided to release all the 20 songs that we did free on the website. So if you go to adamjosh.com under music and check out A&D Phantoms, this is one of the songs. So I would do sequencing and synthesizers and drum tracks, and this is me playing guitar with some distortion on it. And my friend in Texas would do the same thing, but he's got a little bit more of an elaborate setup for a studio. So not acoustic at all, and not something that people would generally think of as my music, but I had a lot of fun doing it. And like being a drummer, you gotta appreciate listening to just a good beat, you know? That's our compressor in the back. Anyway, so if you go to adamjosh.com, I have one on autoplay that should be called Whales, but it's I think it's Phantom 4. Anyway, for what it's worth, I also put up the demo versions for Autumn Leaves, the CD that I did in 2007 that I recorded in the studio at Sword Studios. I found the demos and put them on the website with an included with a bonus track that didn't make the final cut. Let's find it. Your Beauty by Kevin Barr. I'm gonna shut this door, hold on a second. Alright, so the other thing I wanted to talk about, I got 3 things I want to talk about real quick. I'm sort of occupied right now and for the rest of the day, so I don't have too much time to go about interneting, so internet's gonna have to live without me for one day. The other thing I wanted to talk about was, speaking of the internet, is Facebook. Like, if you're still on Facebook, get off Facebook. I don't have an account on Facebook. I made a fake profile 2 years ago. Just go on and see what my friends were up to. Like, people say, "Are you on Facebook? I need to send you these pictures. Have you seen this? Do you know what I'm up to? Aren't you on Facebook? You should know these things." So I had this fake account, but I deleted that too. So like a few months ago. So I'm not on Facebook. I don't. If there was a reason for me in the future to have a fan page for my music, that would be about it, and I would try my hardest not to directly monitor it, because Facebook sucks you into its world of drama. Aside from all the obvious things, I mean, if you're on Facebook, get off. The fact is that you're being monitored, and you know it. This is the funny thing, is that people don't even care anymore. Like, so what? All my information is being monitored and sold to third-party advertisers. Like, get real friends, you know? Meet people in real life. Are you finding that all your time on Facebook has got you more real, genuine friends? And if the power goes out, are your friends still there? Not only that, but look at all the admitted CIA connections. And there was that video on the Onion network that I posted on Twitter a while ago. And basically, you know, the CIA is saying we couldn't have asked for something better than Twitter. It's a parody. I'm not explaining it properly right now. Let's see. How are you? How are you doing? More importantly, than my rantings. Here it is.
Facebook operation for the agency. The decorated agent, codenamed the Overlord, was recently awarded the prestigious Medal of Intelligence Commendation for his work with the Facebook program, which he has called, quote, the single most powerful tool for population control ever created. Among the biggest successes of the Facebook program is Operation Farmville, which the CIA credits with pacifying as many as 85 million people after unemployment rates rose dramatically. Other features, such as the suggested friends window, have been instrumental in allowing government agents to infiltrate deeper into the friend networks of suspected dissidents. For some expert analysis now on the story, let's check in with the Fact Zone's first responders. Jason, you have written extensively about the Facebook program. Why is it so effective?
Well, one of the key reasons is that the CIA has been so thorough in convincing the nation that constantly sharing information about everything that you're doing is somehow desirable instead of deeply unsettling.
Yeah. You know, the critics are saying that with the national debt being so high, is this really the time to be spending even more money on spy programs?
Well, actually, the Facebook...
You get the point, and I would encourage anybody to watch that, anybody watching this to watch that video. I can't go through all the points now, but I mean, they're obviously making a mockery and a parody of how obvious the and over the top the farming for your personal information has become. So if you are on Facebook, I would say this is the thing, is that it's not that you're a criminal, or it's not that you're doing anything wrong, but there's going to be a time when you're not going to agree with something that the government is doing, or there's going to be a time that maybe one of your friends is not going to agree with something that you're doing, or that the government is doing, and that maybe not you, but maybe your friend is going to be, subject to investigation or whatever, and the police have been openly reported to be using Facebook to find criminals, and the CIA is now openly. The people who use Facebook that don't think that they're being monitored, or everything that they do and their friends and their connections are being monitored, are living in a dream world. So I was saying, if you're on Facebook and if you have to be on that website, I would say to not use your real name, not use your real information, not use anything that's actually representative of you, and then use that to socialize with people you don't know in real life. So this is the catch-22, is that nowadays, last I checked, they're asking for your cell phone number. So just blatantly making it obvious that they want to know exactly where you are and track you and know everything about you. I mean, and this is a CIA or third-party advertiser's dream, and it's sad to see so many people going headlong into it, and it's even sadder that the next generation is being raised in this environment where this is perfectly natural. This is what you do. And you see videos like that girl whose dad in Chicago is cussing out people for her on Facebook who are hating on her, and he's threatening to call the cyber police and call the real police and beat up those people who are hating on her. And this is all just perfectly normal. And the father's not thinking, well, maybe I should get my daughter off the internet, or maybe my daughter should go play outside, or go have some real friends and some real social activities interacting in person. But he thinks, the best route to go about this is to cuss out people on a video camera and post it on whatever internet site she was on. And this is just the tip of the spear of where we've come to as a result of this intense personal cachet, social media, personal detail cachet. I could go on and on and on, but I recommend to all my friends and family to get off Facebook. And some of you who are watching this probably know that I do have family on Facebook, and there's some things, you know, I give my advice, and I can't control anybody, but I give my advice. And my advice is to get off Facebook while you can. You know, just take everything off, delete your account, and go outside and call your friends. Now the problem is that for some people who live in like distant parts or remote parts of the middle of nowhere, like some close friends I have who I've met online, they use this apparatus to have a social life, because some people live literally in the middle of nowhere and they have nothing. So instead of like nothing in the way of physical friends go, so what they'll do is they'll create this elaborate social network online, and some of those you know, relationships will become friends. Have you seen the movie Catfish? I recommend it. That's some crazy aspect of what social networking can do to people who are a little bit off. And I mean, just be aware of what you're doing. The problem is that there's no amount of being on Facebook that is not resulting in your personal information being data mined and your whereabouts being known and tracked. You heard those stories about the people saying, yeah, we're going away for 2 weeks, and then their house gets robbed. So you'd say, well, don't limit your personal information, and don't post anything about like your whereabouts or whatever. But that's still not enough for people who want to track you and trace you and harvest your personal information. So for people who are in the entertainment industry, or people who need to have like public Facebook profiles because people use it, I can understand that. But for people who are like average people, say working like 9-to-5 jobs, who don't really need to have a Facebook profile, I would recommend that you don't. And that's my personal opinion. Twitter is a lot less invasive. You're not. Another thing that I should probably point out is that face recognition technology and biometrics is here. It's not a thing of like 20 years in the future. There's already applications and programs that can look at your face and tell you who you are. Now you could say, wow, that's cool, you know, take a picture of somebody's face and then find out who they are. It's cool if we lived in a free society where policy and civil liberties, or policy enforcing infringing rights on civil liberties, wasn't going the way that it's going right now. You know, when you're in like Toronto and there is a protest zone and there's a free speech zone, I mean, that's a pretty major civil liberty of free speech anywhere that I'm standing being infringed upon. But the people who have all the guns and the people who have the uniforms and the bulletproof vests, they're the ones who are going to be enforcing the people who make the policy. It's rules, like people who run the banks and people who run politics. You know how big mafia lords have like, hey, Vinny, go tell those guys how we do things in Chicago. They have those big guys. Yeah, the bankers and the politicians have SWAT teams, armies, and navies, and police as their security. And that's just the way it is. And I'm sorry if you disagree with me, but I know that I'm right. And if you disagree with me, you're wrong. And that's just how it is. Because I've seen it, I've lived long enough to see it, there's countless stories of it, and that's the way the world is going until we as a people decide to change things. The last thing I want to talk about is the moon. Richard Branson is somebody, the owner of Virgin Mobile and Records. He is contracting space flights to moon. I really have to stop talking because I have things that I gotta do. There's another website that somebody sent me called MoonX or something. Google just gave a $30 million award to this company. I'll check it out right now on Google. I'm just going to type in $30 million Moon X prize. Moon something or other. One second. My point is, you know, as I'm looking for this, I'll just tell you what my point is and we can skip to that. My point is that people who read my last blog, Helium-3 Mining the Moon, might think it's a little far-fetched. Might think that going to the moon and the fact that people are on the moon right now might be a little far-fetched to people. Sorry, I'm having a moment here. Now we can admit that in the future we'll go to the moon and we'll live on the moon and we'll colonize the moon and we'll mine the moon. We can admit that. But to admit that it's happening right now, for some of you people, it's hard to believe. Now, if any of you people who are in doubt spent some time and investigated some of these claims of what's going on the moon right now, you'd pretty quickly realize that there's been a mining operation on the moon, there's a population on the moon, there are structures on the moon that pre-exist, you know, the 60s. Allegedly, people have been on the moon before the official moon landing. The website is moonexpress.com, MOONEXPRESS.com. Give you now, apparently, see, I don't know if my camera is on the screen or not. There we go. So, Moon Express wins a $10 million NASA lunar contract. So, Google had some sort of, you know, award that they were giving out to people, and award, you know, just drawing a hat of names, and this people came up for $10 million. I don't think so. But anyway, the Google Lunar X Prize is an unprecedented international competition that has challenged and inspired engineers and entrepreneurs from around the world to develop low-cost methods of robotic space exploration. And you can read their overlay. But basically, they won a ton of money from Google to go to the moon and quote-unquote explore. So it's hard to explain something this sophisticated to people that just believe everything the government says. When the government's coming to the point where they already admit something, where they say, yeah, okay, usually almost 100% of the time they've already done it, but they're finally admitting it to the public. So they don't wait for your approval to do things. They just do it. That's what the hubris and the blatant the power that they see on themselves, that's just what it does. They just do it. And later they'll say, oh yeah, we're gonna do this, or oh yeah, we're thinking about doing this. When the government is saying we're thinking about going to the moon again and colonizing, it's already done. When the government's saying we're thinking about having ground troops in Libya, they're already there, and Black Ops is already there, private mercenaries in there, Blackwater, CIA undercover assets, they're already there, and they're saying, you know, we're thinking that we might need some more ground troops in Libya. We're thinking that we might need some operatives in Yemen. You know, they're already there. That's what people who believe everything the government says, you know, all the time, fail to understand. So, in this cloud of witnesses that we're standing in, Richard Branson is already he's contracting space flights, and you can check that out for yourself. I've seen the vehicle, the space flight vehicle that the spaceship type of thing that he made. And for anybody who has the money, you know, he'll take you in the future, or he'll take you now. I don't know. I saw the development program of it like 2 years ago, so who knows where it is right now. The other witness that I want to tell you about is in the 1940s, Hitler was heavily involved in the occult and ancient technology and any technology, future technology that would help him win the war. So he got involved with anti-gravity and man-made spaceships. So you can look up the Haunebu, Haunebu, and he actually perfected anti-gravity man-made spaceships or flying discs in the 40s. So imagine, and then you can see flying discs, not propeller but anti-gravity from the USAF in the 50s. You can see them in black and white on Google. So to think that they just scrapped all that is nonsense. To think that they just scrapped anti-gravity flying discs and they're like, yeah, well anyway, let's go back to propellers. It's absolute nonsense. Think of how far we've come in 60 years. So you have Richard Branson, you have the Haunebu, and you have this Moon Express, or whatever I said the website was. Yeah. Winning $10 million to go to the moon. And not only that, but you have the fact that there's a secret space program and a secret Star Wars program that's declassified now, so not so secret. Space-based weapons, space platform weapons, helium-3 mining the moon. In all these clouds of witnesses and testimony, you have the testimony of Harrison Smith, you have the testimony of John Lear, son of the William Lear, who invented the Learjet. John Lear's flown, you know, pretty much every plane, won every award, and he's saying, yeah, they're colonized on the moon. There's people on the moon. They're mining the moon, and we've been there before we officially went there with NASA. And that's my point. You stand in all these cloud of witnesses, and then to say that you look up at the moon and they say, no, there's no way. It's insanity. So if you're going to wait until the government officially says, you know, we're already colonizing other planets, or there is life elsewhere in the cosmos, if you're going to wait for that time, you're going to be waiting until you die probably. And if they do say, oh, there's aliens, it's probably going to be, there's aliens and they're coming to kill us, so we need more taxes and more money, and let's have this space war. You know, first it was the you know, Hitler, then it was, you know, men in caves, and now it'll be real aliens. And so that's all I wanted to say. I have a lot more that I would like to say, but I gotta go. So check out the website. Got new music up, Phantoms, and what else do I got? The demo versions of Autumn Leaves. So peace, and tell your friends to get a job. To warm this up.